bottom left of the screen, and you should be able to view where we're at in the session. And if you would like to make our presentation bigger, feel free to click 3 buttons over from the big red Leave Session button. There's a full screen mode. And if you want to send reactions during the session, there's a reaction button, 1 button to the right of the Leave Session button. All right, so our webinar topic today is maximizing efficiency with municipal payments. So I'll let Justin go over the history of Workhorse and give you a little background, and then I'll go over HeyGov's history.
Yeah, no. Hey, thanks, Megan. We appreciate being able to come together for today. So yeah, just a little bit about Workhorse, a little bit about me. I've been with the company 5 years in the role of kind of sales and marketing. One of the things like HeyGov that you'll hear in momentarily, we're based in Wisconsin. We've been, next year will be 40 years for us, so we're pretty excited about that in the municipal software industry. For those of you that know us, some of this is familiar. Those that don't, our focus is on small to medium-sized municipalities. We are ones that will service cities, towns, villages, utility districts, you name it. Kind of within that realm, we service those types of agencies. We are one that strives for kind of simple to use software with outstanding support. So anybody that uses us, hopefully they'll echo that. And if you know anybody that uses us, we hope they say those same things. Our support is key to our business. We've been able to grow to 300 plus customers. Well, today we're going to be focusing on our utility billing product. We do have a full suite of other programs that can meet the needs of your municipal life. Yeah, so that's just a quick, brief overview of Workhorse and myself. So go ahead, Megan.
All right. So HeyGov was actually born out of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we are a newer company. Our headquarters are in Door County, Wisconsin, specifically Sturgeon Bay. And you might recognize our founder, Dustin Overbeck. He is also the founder of Town Web Design, if you're familiar with them or use them. We won first place in the Wisconsin Governor's Business Plan for Information Technology in 2022. We were very excited about that. And we're currently used by 200 municipalities of all sizes all over the US. So HeyGov and Workhorse have recently partnered to make your life easier. And how we're doing that is through a utility billing integration where utility bills are synced to HeyGov from Workhorse. From there, residents are able to pay remotely, and then the payment information is synced to Workhorse from HeyGov. So I'm going to let Justin go through the utility billing side from Workhorse, and then I'll go over it from the HeyGov side.
All right. Hey, thanks, Megan. Yeah, so a couple kind of data point slides, and then we'll kind of take a look a little bit at our utility billing program and then kind of the process. So the utility billing module within the Workhorse product suite is, it's an application that's designed kind of specifically for Wisconsin municipalities. We kind of cover from the meter collection standpoint to the billing and receiving through that, and we'll take a look at that here momentarily. Our billing program is one that allows you not to only bill out for obviously your water and associated sewer charges, but we allow for other services such as garbage, fire, and others. And obviously today we integrate with third-party providers such as HeyGov, and we're happy about that and provide that extra level of ability, and we'll kind of take a look at that. So within our utility billing module, a lot of features and functions that are there for you guys. We're pretty good with easy customer searches, history, reporting. In regards to reporting, obviously you guys have needs internally. We have reports that are specific to things that auditors or PSC or others may need, and those type of capabilities are within the module. The whoop, somehow the slide jumped on us. And again, with the utility billing module, regardless of your meter provider that you have, most popular ones we integrate with. So that's there. So on this next slide here, this is a little bit more about Workhorse, and at a higher level, this is what we call our container. This contains all your potential different Workhorse modules, all within kind of one location, one application. And obviously today we're going to be talking about utility billing. But within this, one of the things just kind of keying on is we have a kind of what we call our customer blog, is kind of that white space in the middle. It's an easy way for us to communicate to our customers within the product, which we try to filter through topical and time not sensitive, but kind of calendar type items that come up. So our utility billing module, just to take a look at that, here we'll go ahead and get started. This first kind of maintain menu area within our application is a location that we're entering and taking a look at adding and maintaining data points. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of take a look and give you guys an overview of an account record. So our account records, obviously you'll have some form of account number, but here you can kind of see the name. We're tying in PSC classification information, service service address location. Well, obviously the mailing address may be different. Some of the tabs I'm not going to key in on, but I'll just speak to briefly, are that additional info tab. We do allow and have a tax roll process, so that type of information may be located on there. The second contact tab, that is one where, if you have a landlord, a lot of times we'll document those types of details there. Memos are just notes. We do have a direct payment function within our module, which is allowing you as a municipality, assuming the customer signs up, to do an automatic ACH pull from your FI, and that's a process that we have that's built in, and that just kind of collects those data points. And then the services tab is one here that, sorry about that, folks. It seems like the computer is having a mind of its own. I don't know. But as we're jumping to that slide, the services tab is one that documents the, here, I'll grab it. Let's see here. Here we go. Services tab is one that is the location that says, hey, this is what we're billing out for. So here's just an example of a standard kind of, hey, you have water, sewer, and fire protection. One of the things on our account records is this account review button. It's kind of a one-stop shop, I like to call it, for you to be able to view and provide information on an account. So not only do you get to see their balance if they have one, this is a location that you can easily click on to provide or see a last bill. A resident shows up, they lost it, you can click on that. That's going to provide that in a full page that you can just go ahead and print out on your copier in the office. History, that'll just kind of give you a rolling 12-month view of activity, bills, receipts, late payments, that type of thing. And there's that bill estimate button that if you need to estimate a bill perhaps for a closing, that's coming due, that's available. So those are kind of features that we provide, and if you don't use us, things that hopefully if your provider doesn't have, that'd be something to think about. So other kind of functions here before we jump into the actual kind of review of what does a normal process look like. Here is some of the features that we're not going to get into is, applying late charges, doing past due notices. We have an easy move in, move out process, and doing that within the program. Tax roll process, one thing that everybody loves, I'm just kidding, but is built in within the program. And that's something where we love to help our customers during that time year, and we actually have recorded webinars that we try to push out to refresh people, because it's one of those things you do once a year and it's easily forgotten. So and then that direct payment process, reports. So we've built out reports based on our customer input over the many years, and so there's a lot of different ways to slice and dice the data or reproduce register reports, billing, posting reports, and that type of thing. But just as an example here under the accounts, we have aged reports that can get done. Meter export type of reports. There's a PSC type of report that we do. And then all our reports obviously go to screen that you can then save or print out. And then there's a lot of different locations within our reports, that allow you to export that out to a file, be it CSV or Excel, that type of thing, if you needed to do some additional manipulation of that info. So this is kind of what we're going to run through here next is the process from reading meters, running bills, sending those bills, payments come in, posting those receipts. So it's kind of the next chunk of the presentation here that we'll kind of walk through. So as I mentioned, we work with all kind of the main meter providers, and we have the ability to create an import file that gets sent to, say, the Badger Beacon system. The reading collection happens there, and then that export file comes back in to Workhorse. And then with that, that's kind of just a real quick overview of the electronic method. We do have the ability, if some of your meters are read that way, but if some are still manual reads, we're able to manually input those. We have some customers that still do all manual reads, and so we're really flexible with our system to kind of cover all different situations that may be taking place. So step one is kind of that meter process, right? So we're sending a file or we're doing meter reads. Once that information comes back into Workhorse, this is where sometimes that meter reader provider is flagging accounts that may have issues, but we also have a process within our program that allows you to run this errors and exceptions report. And some of the things that this report does provide is, hey, was there any unread meters? Was there a duplicate read? Was there a zero consumption, high, low, which sometimes is expected at seasonal changes? You start watering your lawn or you're stopping because it's winter, that type of thing. But this is a place that allows you to see those and potentially investigate those areas if they need to be, and with regarding to your meter reads. So after that's been reviewed and done, and if we had to fix anything, we could adjust readings. But if that looks good, then we're going to continue on with our process, which is now starting kind of the bill run process. So with that, we come in, we're going to select, hey, what's the bill date, the due date, and once we populate that, and I'm going to show you here on this next slide is we have this full and quick version of a bill register report. Now I apologize if that's a bit of an eye chart on your screen, but with that, the full versus quick is really just more or less information. So full, as you can see on the left, is going to show each account and the services and the charges. This register report will actually show if they had a previous balance due or a credit, that type of thing. Obviously, we're seeing consumption out here, and it's going to give them a total of what we're about to bill. The quick version on the right side of the screen, as you can see, is a one line item per account. And it's showing the consumption, it's showing either past due, new charges, that type of thing. But is more and straight to the point. So again, two different formats depending on what you like to see and how you like to review that information. So moving on, if that all looks well and we say, hey, we're ready to send this, we're going to go ahead and go to send bills. Now on this screen, there's that third tab that says messages that allows you to put a note that's going to go on all your bills to your community. Perhaps there's spring cleanup or a parade coming come 4th of July. You want to put a note on your bills or something like that. That allows you that ability on that tab. Now, if you're printing out on postcard, obviously you have a lot less real estate compared to a full page. But again, it gives you that flexibility. Now with this, we're kind of big on checks and balances. So you'll see preview, print bills. So first it's going to kind of just give you a total of, hey, I'm about to print out 500 bills and these are the associated charges. And then I would go ahead and print those. And then within this, you'll also see we do have the ability to email bills. So again, we're flexible. And you can print and email to both, but that's there. And then kind of continuing on with this process is sending to third parties. So this is where HeyGov comes into play, where we are going to send them the current bill amounts for these new group of bills. It's pretty easy. We're going to preview and then send. And when we do that, within Workhorse, we always like to provide an overview and view of the information. And so this is just a report that's going to say, hey, these are all the accounts that were processed and totaled those amounts. Excuse me. So with that, once we're printing and emailing and sending, we're going to post those bills to make them reality in our system. And once we do that, we'll post that. Now, if you utilize our municipal accounting program, that next step is to pull that information into our accounting program. If you don't, you may be doing journal entries into a different program. Again, there's power in bringing all your products together, which takes away some of those manual entries that you may need to do. So just to kind of recap where we are, we've done meter reads, we produced the bills, we sent the bills. Now payments are coming back into your office. You'll receive bills obviously in the mail, our payments in the mail. You may receive them in the Dropbox at your office location or walk-ins. So with that, those types of payments that are coming in, we'd go to maintain receipts. We'd look up an account and then we'd populate the amount. Now, our system, when we insert a receipt to an account, it's going to assume that the customer is paying off the balance, but you do have the ability to adjust. I know there's people that like to round up. It's easy to say $150 versus $148.82 on a check. Some of us are lazy that way, but nonetheless, you can do that and adjust those amounts, and we would put those in. We would run our register once we have all those payments entered, and then we would post those through obviously that day when you're going to go to the bank and make those deposits. And then again, for our systems, if you have our accounting module, you would be interfacing that activity back into our accounting module. So just to kind of cover the direct payment piece, again, this is a feature that we have that you'd have to have a discussion with your FI, but essentially a customer says, yes, I'm going to allow the fictitious Village of Badgerville to pull out of my account the balance of my bill on a predetermined date. You would have your customers fill out those forms and whatnot, and then we document that on the account. But in terms of that process, when we're ready to do that, we can create the ACH file that you would then upload to your FI. And when you do that, you have the ability to create the offset receipts automatically. So say you had 80, maybe 100 individuals that are signed up for that. When that is done, that automatically creates offset receipts, which is, again, a nice, quick, makes you more resourceful in your office, and takes that step away. And then again, we'd be posting those and interfacing into accounting. Now for HeyGov, you're going to be receiving notifications of, hey, these payments were made, the deposits were made at the bank. You get to choose when you want to bring those in. And so when we do that, we go ahead and create receipts. We can put in a specific batch number, trans ID, that type of thing. We're going to preview and then pull those receipts in. And when we do that, you'll get a report that says, hey, we pulled in 3 receipts for this amount. And again, that process, very similar to the others. We can then run a receipt register. Maybe again, I'm tying into that specific batch number. So I may have other receipts, but I only want to post those specific ones through. I have that ability by batch or transaction dates. And then, like the other processes, is we're going to post that. And when we post that, we have a posting control report, or actually, excuse me, this is a register that would get posted through to our program. Again, this is that post stage. And again, like everything, if you do have our accounting module, that allows you to interface and pull that activity back into our accounting module. So it's kind of a real quick overview of the utility billing module, and more specifically the utility billing process, from meter collection to sending bills to receiving payments, and be it manual, walk-in payments, mail payments, that ACH function, and or directly through HeyGov. So at this point, I'm going to pass this back to you, Megan, to kind of pick up on your end.
All right. Well, what can HeyGov do for you in this process? Well, we do offer a bunch of different applications. We have HeyGov Pay for online and in-person payments, Hey License, which is online licensing and permitting with workflows, Hey Reserve, which is kind of like Airbnb for municipalities, online reservations, and then we have our Hey 3-in-1 citizen reporting app. Today, we're just going to be focusing on HeyGov Pay with utility billing, but if you're interested in any of the other applications, feel free to contact us after the webinar and let us know. So, the problem that we noticed was that a lot of cities are using outdated and difficult accounting and payment solutions for utility billing. And clerks and treasurers want easy and integrated solutions to make their lives easier. So what we did was we made a payment portal to assist with online payments that connects to Workhorse utility billing module with two-way syncing. So this is how you can sync your utility bills from Workhorse. So if you're in the admin panel of HeyGov Pay, which if you look to the left of this picture, you're going to see HeyGov Pay in the lineup. So you're going to go into Manage Billing. And then you're going to click on Import Bills in the top right of the billing account page. And from here, you're going to upload that report that was generated in Workhorse whenever you went to export to a third party. And then all of your accounts will be updated in HeyGov with the newest balances. If you click on one of the account numbers within this billing accounts page, you'll be able to go in and see the different amounts, the different charges, the due dates, when the period started and ended, and you're also able to edit the accounts. Within edit accounts, you're able to connect their utility billing account to their HeyGov account. It'll be easier for the resident to be able to find their account in the future. And you can also change balances here if you want to, but you can also do that on the Workhorse side and then just re-upload that document to update balances. So if you needed to add a late fee or something like that. So from the citizen side, they have a nice payment portal. All they have to do is type in their account number and either their address or zip code. click Find Billing Account, then they'll be able to view their different bills. Once they click on View Bills, they'll be taken to a page that'll break down all the different charges, and it'll show them their due date and their period start and end date as well. Once they click Pay Now, they'll be taken to a page where they can, it'll show their amount, the payment fee broken out, and it'll show they'll be able to enter in their card information and pay online. Once they pay online, they will have a receipt automatically sent to their email. So how does HeyGov and Workhorse work together to make the reconciliation portion easy for you? On the HeyGov side, once you set up the Workhorse integration, it's seamless. So to set up the integration, you're going to go to Settings and Integrations, which is highlighted in red. You'll click the module that says Workhorse Utility Billing and click Start Integration. Once you do that, it'll connect to your Workhorse account. It'll give you some directions, and you can choose different options for how you want the payments to reconcile. One option is for it to be whenever you receive a payment. So every single time a utility bill is paid, it's automatically synced into Workhorse. That payment information is automatically sent. Oh, we had some skips here.
We have an extra guest in our presentation.
Yeah, we have a ghost. We have a ghost in our presentation that keeps forwarding it for us before we're ready. All right, so let me get back into this. All right, and some other options is that you can have it sent after X number of payments. So 10, 50, every 100 payments, and then it will send it over to Workhorse. The last option is having it sent based on time. So after 24 hours, after 7 days, or after 30 days, whichever process works for you. You can also have it sent manually. And if you want to import it into Workhorse manually, all you have to do is go to your HeyGov Pay page, pull up the payments, and on the top right, there'll be an export button. You'll click on it, and you'll click for Workhorse Utility Billing. And from there, you'll export, and then you can import it into the Workhorse Utility Billing module, and it'll populate all that payment information. Again, that's just if you don't want it to automatically sync. If you need to view, if you are doing it manually and you need a little bit more control and you want to view a little bit more information, you can go out to the Payouts tab under Account Activity, and you can click on the different transactions. This is when balances were sent to your bank account. So it's sent automatically every 24 hours from HeyGov. So you can see it's broken up into different dates. And if you click on the, for example, the 3 payments at the top of the transactions, it'll pull up a screen like this that'll show you the payout details. So this is going to be individual payouts within the individual transactions within that payout. It'll show you the payer, either their email or their name, a description. So if they're paying their utility bill, it'll show the bill number and the account number as well, and the date that the payment was made and the amount. So it just gives you a little bit more information to help reconciliation. So now I'll let Justin cover the Workhorse side of reconciliation.
Yep. Yeah, no, thanks. So yeah, there's a lot of great aspects of the HeyGov and the detail of being able to see with each of those deposits that are coming in, what accounts are associated with them, and as Meagan said, you can kind of choose how those come through. You decide dates, custom ranges, and whatnot, which is great, especially with credit card type payments, right? There's always that mystery of, hey, yes, we were notified the payment was made, but when does it actually hit the bank? And all of that, which always, when you pull that thread through to accounting and reconciling, you have your bank statement in front of you. What does that process look like, and can I match those up and whatnot? So that's where the HeyGov, kind of that tool that they put together to say, hey, yes, there's this deposit today, but what accounts did it represent? They provide that great clarity, which then allows you from our side to kind of decide, okay, I'm going to pull these in. I can easily follow that thread through. So this is a view of our accounting module, because obviously those payments as they come in, you get to decide when you're going to pull those receipts in and apply it to the accounts that are associated for them. And then when we post those receipts, be it in different batches or dates or however you choose to do that, when that gets pulled through to our accounting module and we're reconciling our bank statements, that extra clarity that allows you to have that decisioning on the front end of how you're going to post those and bring them through to our accounting module with those different batches will make your life easier with reconciliation. So here's just a view of, we're going to go into accounting, our accounting module, we're going to go to reconciliation, we're going to start marking transactions. So this is kind of our default view here where I'm filtered in just on our deposits. And so with that, we see the different line items and the dates and whatnot. And so if I go to this next screen here and I expand the arrows on the left, it kind of gives me detail about each of these deposits, which then allows me to kind of tie back to what I'm seeing in HeyGov. So, here I just expanded 2 examples of one that's, hey, these ACH type of payments that came through. And then also that bottom line where we're seeing the group of HeyGov receipts that are coming through. And so today, we've started this piece with the utility billing standpoint. I know from a Workhorse end, we are going to look at being able to connect and pull together. I know Meagan had talked about the different product sets that they have with reserve and whatnot. And so I know we're going to look at from a Workhorse HeyGov perspective on potentially integrating those pieces. So as your residents, if they're making park rentals or whatnot, that those payments can not only come into our application, so there isn't that manual piece that has to be done today, that could hopefully go away as it is, where they get automatically pulled into our applicable modules. So that's just kind of a quick overview of pulling that thread through on the reconciliation piece. So with that, Meagan, I think we can carry on to the next.
Yeah, so the next thing I want to go over is a use case. So actually, the first municipality to use the HeyGov and Workhorse integration was the city of Mineral Point in Wisconsin. We kind of have them to thank for the integration. They've been very patient with us while we worked out all the kinks and got it working, so all of you can use it as well. So they started with a manual process where they were inputting all the information by hand, manually, the slow way. And then from there, they started uploading and exporting the files. And now they have more of an automatic integration where the payments are pulled into Workhorse. They also take additional payments in person via a card reader, which HeyGov can provide to you if you don't have one in office to take payments. Every month that since they've started using HeyGov and Workhorse, they've had a consistent increase in the number of utility bill payments that they receive each month. All right, and from here, we're going to go into our question and answer session. So I'm going to pull out a full screen so I can see the questions. If you have any, feel free to send them in now. If you haven't already, just go to switch tabs so I can keep track with time. All right, let me see what we have. All right, so I'm going to go over some that Yelena might have answered to, just in case you missed it. One question is, does the resident pay the fee? And they do, but you do have control over that. So if you want to absorb the fee as a municipality, you can. But all of our current customers, they do pass that fee on to the resident. And I see that there's also a question, is there a credit card convenience fee? So I'll go ahead and answer this since ties into the last question. There is a credit card convenience fee. It's straight from our provider. We don't charge anything extra. It's 30 cents plus 2.9%. And we found that it's very similar across the board in fees. Some might be a percent or two higher or lower, but our payment provider is one of the most well-known in the world, and they're very secure. So we will continue using them.
Yeah, and just to chime in on that, Megan, I mean, it's one of those things, they're all very similar, and it kind of boils down to the tools and features and functions that that provider can do. So that's kind of the benefit. Just to put a feather in HeyGov's hat, is that yes, they do the payment piece, but then they also have those other product sets that come along with what they provide. So it's not a single focus. Where some of the other payment providers, they're in a single lane. Where HeyGov does have that ability to have multiple lanes available to you. So
we're able to tie in the payments to our forms. So if you have any licenses, like dog licenses or building permits, we're able to actually tie the payment functionality into that as well, where they're able to fill out the form and make the payment at the same time. And that's with our reservations as well. So we really like the payment provider we're currently using allows us to do that. I see a question, is there an auto pay option for utility customers for the exact amount? And I think Justin might have touched on this a little bit, but that's actually done on the Workhorse side.
Yep.
And I'll let him discuss that. But what HeyGov can do is we can have a form. We can create a form for you for residents to fill out to get that information to request for auto pay.
Yeah, so from a Workhorse standpoint, if you're going to be processing your payments through HeyGov, that's what Meagan talked about. We at Workhorse do provide that ACH kind of function that a customer is going to say they're going to sign up for this, not just for one bill cycle, but kind of, I'll say indefinitely until they notify you as a municipality saying, hey, we no longer want to have you auto pull out of our account that we inform you of, and that would be the exact bill amount, and they'll get that notification that they're signed up for that on their bills that gets sent out. So it's not like, hey, I got this bill, I signed up for it, but my spouse wasn't aware of that, they send in a check. It'll say on there that you're signed up for that, and so you should know not to send in a double payment. But yeah, our function is there for the set amount, but of the bill, or it can be a predetermined amount where it's going to automatically pull X amount regardless of what the bill is. So we have both switches.
And I actually just saw another question come through about what is the auto pay fee? So maybe you can speak to this, Justin.
Yeah, so on our end, we don't actually have any charge for that. That's functionality that's built within our product. It's more of a discussion with your FI if they would in fact charge you when you do those that transaction through them. That's a discussion. Traditionally, now this isn't obviously for every FI. You guys traditionally have a pretty decent balance at each of the FIs that you work through. So those fees are minimal, if at all. It's a benefit to them that you're going to be depositing funds into your account. They get that benefit. So again, that's a discussion though that you'd want to have with your FI that you work with. Yeah.
All right. I see two questions that are very similar, so I'll answer them at the same time. Is there a cost to the municipality to use HeyGov? And does HeyGov charge the municipality a monthly charge based on population? So how HeyGov works is there is an annual charge, and it's based on a couple of things. Population does come into play, but also what features you're wanting to use. Is it just utility billing? Are you needing forms, anything like that? So usually we have a one-on-one discussion, and then we're able to send you pricing based on that discussion and your needs and volume of payments, everything like that. So if you are interested in pricing, feel free to contact me after the webinar, and we can set up a call to get that for you. All right, another question I see. Let me just mark this as answered. Does the municipality gain any income from this? From utility billing, probably not, but from some of our other modules, you can gain income. Ways you can do that is through reservations. People are more likely to reserve if there's an online option. So you could see an uptick in reservations. Boat launch payments, dog licensing, you might see more things like that coming in with people actually being compliant because there is an online option. Like I know if I go to a boat launch, I never have cash. So I'm either going to have to go get cash or risk getting a ticket. With the dog licensing, again, a lot of times it's a very drawn out paper process, having to send stuff to the mail. I'm more likely to license my dog if it's online. And I know that's not a big boost in income, but it is a little bit boost of it in income. I'm getting tripped up. But yeah, so just little things like that can add up. All right. Do we have more questions that have come in? We use Workhorse. What else is needed to begin? So if you already have Workhorse and you're already using the utility module, if you're not using the utility module yet, you will need that. But outside of that, you can schedule a call with me and we can get you set up with a quote for HeyGov Pay if you're just wanting to use the if you just want to use it for utility billing, and we can get you a quote for that and get you set up on the HeyGov side as well.
I think I saw something about a tax collection. Yeah.
So maybe I'll let Justin talk about this from the Workhorse side, and I can talk about the HeyGov side.
Well, I was just going to say, from our standpoint, like the tax, this is property tax collection, so that's probably more you, Megan. But if at all there was any confusion, like the tax roll process, which I don't assume you guys as clerks and treasurers, assuming that's who's in attendance today, are great folks and wiser than I. But on the tax roll process, that's something that we run and do in September. That's a process that we have inside our program. So if those payments for that needed to come through via credit card, that can be done and pulled through HeyGov. But yeah, you go ahead on the property.
And we can set it up very similarly to utility billing, or we can do a more simple method since it is a payment you might just get once a year. So we could either, like I said, we can set it up in a billing module where they all have accounts, or if you send out paper bills or through email and they have the amount there, we can actually just create a simple payment portal for them to pay via HeyGov as well. All right, do we have any other questions before we move on? Does Workhorse have a sandbox mode set up to try the system?
So, I'm guessing they're talking about us with you and HeyGov. We do have a sandbox mode that our customers can go into. They do need to call us to kind of run through something. But the kind of sandbox mode with you guys, I think we have to follow up on a follow up with that. I have no qualms into everybody online. I will say I know things to a point, but then I say this is beyond me, and I like to pull in our technical resources and say, hey, this is what's feasible. So whoever that is, maybe we can follow up after.
Yeah, and kind of same thing with HeyGov. We don't have open access, but we can do guided workshops if you schedule a call with us. We can even do it over a week if you need more in depth. We can set up multiple workshops and work through anything that you're interested in, whether it's utility billing, licensing, reservations. We can show you how to do it all. Does the customer set up their online payment account? So they will set up their HeyGov accounts themselves, and you can either connect their HeyGov accounts to their billing account if you want. That's not required. But they will have an account within HeyGov that they set up. All right. Anything else? We have 4 more minutes. We can answer questions if you guys have any more. Let's see.
Yeah, it just well things if you're looking, like Megan said, Mineral Point was kind of the initial customer. I know we have at least one more that's turned on, and I know we have 5 or 6, I think, other customers that are going to be turning on this integration. Just a matter of scheduling that. So you know, we've seen some good activity with this, and look forward to the benefits that you guys will hopefully see with this. So yeah, I don't know, is there
All right. I see somebody asking for my contact info, and I will have a screen at the end that will show mine and Justin's contact info. So you can write it down. But just for now, my email is Meagan, Meagan, at heygov.com. All right, so I guess we can move along. If you have any questions, any more questions, feel free to email us afterwards or send them in chat, and Dustin or Yelena might be able to answer them for you. All right, so now I'm just going to do a quick little review over everything we've talked about. All right, so HeyGov and Workhorse integrate through two-way syncing to make utility billing a breeze for you. Utility bills are exported from Workhorse and can seamlessly be uploaded to HeyGov, so citizens can easily log in and pay their utility bills. Every time a utility bill payment is made through HeyGov, the payment information can automatically be sent to Workhorse, or it can also be synced after X amount of time or X amount of payments. The HeyGov and Workhorse both provide features that make reconciliation stress-free. All right, guys. Well, here is mine and Justin's contact information. So feel free to take a screenshot, write it down, whatever you need to do. Thank you guys so much for attending.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to email us afterwards, give us a call, schedule a video chat with us. We'll talk to you one-on-one, whatever you guys need to do. But thank you guys for attending, and I want to thank Justin for doing this with me today.
Yeah, no. Thanks for inviting us. Yeah, thanks to be here.
Yeah, no problem. And I really hope that we can help you guys make utility billing and reconciliation easier than how it is right now for you. I know sometimes that can take a lot of time, and we just want to help you guys save as much time as possible. We know that you guys are busy. A lot of you have to wear a lot of hats, especially in smaller municipalities. So again, thank you guys so much for attending, and everyone will receive a recording after the event is over with. All right. Bye, everyone.
All right, take care.